Hey class, this is our number. This is a little bonus starting question. I'm going to have a couple numbers pop up on your screen, and you're going to tell me what place that number is. Before we start, I'll give you a little help. Over here is our decimal, right? We have our ones place, tens place, hundreds place, thousands place, 10,000s place. Going this way, we have our tenths place and our hundredths place. Hey class, today I want to start off with a couple review problems from yesterday. Let's do 2 addition and 1 subtraction. Our first problem is 4 2/10 plus 3 84 hundredths. Now remember, when you add decimals, we rewrite the problem first. Rewrite the problem, and remember, we need to line up these decimals. What it means to line up the decimals is to put 1 here, 1 here. See how they're in a line? And now we can add our problem. 4.2, 3.84. Now this might look funny, but remember we could just put a 0 here. The reason we line it up, because this is 4 ones, and we want to make sure we're adding it to the 3 ones. So go ahead and add that problem. All right, 0 plus 4 is 4. 2 plus 8 is 10. 1 plus 4 is 5. Plus 3 is 8. Now remember, with an addition problem, our decimal goes straight down. Our answer should be 8 4 hundredths. Okay, here's our next problem. 3 75 hundredths plus 25 hundredths. I'm going to do the first step for you. I'm going to write my decimals in, and I want you to solve this problem. So write your 3 75 hundredths, and then the decimals here, write your 25 hundredths, and add it up. So we should have had 3 75 hundredths plus 25 hundredths. When we add it up, 5 plus 5 is 10. 7 plus 1 is 8. Plus 2 is 10 again. 3 plus 1 is 4. And like we said, our decimal goes straight down. We got 4 wholes. All right, here's our subtraction problem. 25 2/10 minus 4 18 hundredths. So if we want to estimate, we would take our 25 wholes minus 4 wholes. 25 minus 4 gives us around 19. So let's try it. Line up our decimals. 25.2 minus 4.18. Go ahead and try this problem. Remember, this would be a 0 here, 0 hundredths. So now you can solve it. We can't do 0 minus 8. Cross off the 2, make it a 1. This becomes a 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. 1 minus 1 is 0. 5 minus 4 is 1. And we can bring our 2 down. Don't forget your decimal. Our answer is 21 2 hundredths. Okay, today to start, I want to talk about changing our fractions into decimals. So this fraction right here reads 3/10. So when we change that or convert that to a decimal, it's basically just going to be 3/10. Remember, right here is our tenths place. So we're just going to put our 3 in the tenths place. 3/10, 3/10. What if our question was, what is 5/10 as a decimal? Well, remember, this is our ones place. We have no ones. This is our tenths place. And right here we have 5/10. All right, we're going to try 2 more this way. Our first one is 9/10. What is 9/10 as a decimal or in decimal form? 9/10 would look just like this. All right, now this one's a little tricky. 12/10. We know if our numerator is bigger than denominators, we have a whole number in there. We know 10 goes into 12, 10, 1 time, right? That would be a 1 whole. Now we have 11/12. We would have 2 left over, 2/10 left over. Another way to look at this is 12/10. 12/10 Here's our tenths place. And right here we have 12 tenths. Real quick, I'm going to show you how to change the decimal into a fraction. It's basically the same thing we're doing, just in reverse. So we know right here, this is the tenths place. Remember, one place to the right is the tenths place. So we have 4 tenths. So our answer should be 4 tenths. Now on this one, we would have 1 tenth. So what should our answer here be? That's right, 1 tenth. Moving on, we're going to do some greater than, less than, and equal to problems. For our first one, we have 2 tenths and 2 hundredths. What do you think is greater? What's a bigger number, 2 tenths or 2 hundredths? All right, now when we look at it, 2 tenths of a whole. So here's my whole square, and I cut it into 10 pieces. 2 tenths would be 2 out of these 10. So 2 tenths will look like this. Our next one is 2 hundredths. Now remember, I've cut this into tenths, so now I need to make this into hundredths. 1, 2. Now I have 100 squares, and I'm going to shade in 2 of them. 1, 2. So when we look at this, which one is our bigger number? Is 2 tenths greater than 2 hundredths? Or is 2 hundredths greater than 2 tenths? So our answer should be 2 tenths is greater than 2 hundredths. All right, the next one I'm going to show you is on our number line. So we have 2 numbers here. We have 8 and 3 hundredths versus 8 and 3 tenths. So we're going to see which one's greater than, less than, or equal to. Our first one is 8 and 3 hundredths. So we know over here, we're going to try to find where is this on the number line. So 8.0, 8.0. Here's 8.1. So it's going to be in between this area. I'm going to use my red X. So this would be 8.01, 8.02, and right here would be our 8.03, because these are split up into 10 pieces. So I'm going to put my X right here. So that's where this lies. Now let's look at 8 and 3 tenths. So this is our 8. This is 8 and 3 hundredths. This is 8 and 1 tenth, 8 and 2 tenths, 8 and 3 tenths. So 8 and 3 tenths is all the way over here. So this shows us 8 and 3 hundredths, 8 and 3 tenths. Like we said earlier, we know tenths are greater than hundredths. So our answer is 8 and 3 hundredths is less than 8 and 3 tenths. Our next problem shows 3 and 2 tenths versus 3 and 9 hundredths. If I was going to draw this out, I would have 3 ones. 1, 2, 3. Here's my 3 ones, and then my decimal, and then 2 tenths. So then I take a whole and I split up into 10 equal pieces, and I shade in 2 tenths. So this is what 3 and 2 tenths would look like. Now over here I have 3 wholes, and 9 hundredths. So remember, that's when we have to split it up into 100 pieces. And we're going to shade in 9 of them. So we look 3 and 2 tenths versus 3 and 9 hundredths. We know 3 and 2 tenths is greater. Here's our next problem. 42 and 34 hundredths versus 42 and 18 hundredths. So when we look at this, we both have 42. All right? So remember, when you look at a number, this number has 4 tens. Tens is going to be the largest. 2 ones, that's the next largest. 3 tenths, 4 hundredths. So when your number gets bigger to smaller. Tens are the biggest ones, so it goes down that way. So if you look at it, we both have 4 tens. We both have 2 ones. This one has 3/10. This one has 1/10. We know 3/10 is greater than 1/10. All right, this problem looks a little tricky. 4 and 9/10 versus 4 and 90/100. All right, so let's look at this. We both have 4 ones. We both have 9/10. So which symbol should we put in here? So for this one, this is going to be equal. So we both have 4 ones. We both have 9/10. You're able to add this in here to make this equal. 9/10 is equal to 90/100. All right, next one is 6 and 99/100. Is that greater, less than, or equal to 7? So remember, if you see a number, this will be 7 ones, right? Our decimal will be here. And if you want, you could add these in. So what number do we have here? Which one is greater, less than, equal to? So when you look at it, remember you start from the left side. This one has 6 ones. This one over here has 7 ones. So right there, we were able to tell 7 is greater than 6. Here's your last problem. I would like you to try and solve this one. What symbol belongs in our circle? If we look at this problem, we have 8 ones. Over here, we have 1 1. But pay attention to where the decimal point is. 8 ones, this would be 21. We have 2 10s over here and 1 1. This decimal point will tell you the size of your number. That will leave us with 21 being greater than 8. 21 and 1/10 is greater than 8 and 99/100. Now that you're finished, you guys need to go back and complete your Google Slides. Everything we learned on this video is on the Google Slides. So the different methods, the different strategy I used on here is going to help you on the Google Slides today. So you can always check back on this video if you need help.